Hello there, everybody. Thanks for the engagement. Focusing this one on financial advisors when it comes to sifting. And so let's back up in this sifting process and talk about just the terminology. A suspect or a qualified suspect is just a name, contact information of somebody you're going to reach out to. It might be a referral, and that's going to be more of a qualified suspect. It might be a name that you've gotten from LinkedIn, again, which is more of a qualified suspect. If it's a name from the local chamber, from a list, it's more like a suspect because you don't know much about that individual, if they're even an ideal client for you. So next you have is a client, a prospect. A prospect is someone that you've taken through the process but hasn't said yes yet. They aren't a client. A client is someone that's bought from you and sees you as someone that can add value to them going forward. I'd say a customer is more like someone that just engaged with you once. I know that flies in the face of the contradictory terminology they use in the Series 7 and 66, where a customer is somebody that's engaging on a regular basis. But I just like the word client better than I do customer when it comes to financial services. Next is to understand what goes through in this sifting process. So one of the great books out there put out by the great Al Granum is that he talked about how for 25 years, and even I think they continue to monitor this, but they monitored 150,000 suspects that led to 45,000 fact finders, which led to 15,000 clients. So what happens here in the sifting process is you're wanting to keep track of your numbers. So that way you know your numbers when it comes to suspect or prospect to fact finding to becoming a client. And when you know your numbers, you know the sales results, and you know what to be able to adjust and change in order to move your practice going forward. Also, when you have a process or a system, it's going to help remove that anxiety of where is that next client going to come from? Where is that next paycheck going to come from when you remove that anxiety in the process? I find sifting as well, if you look at it more from a missionary zeal perspective, is you want to give everybody the opportunity to say yes to their finances to change something for the future. At the same time, you want them to say no, that they're not going to work with you. And so it's the yeses and the nos, and then what you're trying to get, the people that are hemming and hawing, sitting on the fence, they've given you a maybe, or they stop returning phone calls or stop returning emails, is that you want them to make a decision, yes or no, to either move forward, so that way you can then move on to help some more people. How are you in your sifting process? Do you know your numbers? Are you tracking them? And what is your process? Have a great day.